Tick, tick. Do you hear that? It's not the clock on the wall. It's the sound of trust, unraveling, one thread at a time. They broke it carelessly, arrogantly, never suspecting. That moment, that careless word, that betrayal disguised as convenience, that wasn't just a mistake. It was their last chance, and they didn't even know the riddle had begun. Welcome to the truth you weren't ready to solve. Trust isn't a promise whispered in the light. It's a structure, delicate, asymmetrical, built over years and dismantled in seconds. You give someone rope, not because you expect them to hang themselves, but because you believe they'll use it to climb higher with you. Yet most people treat trust like an ATM. Insert goodwill, withdraw forgiveness, repeat, until the machine flashes, no funds remaining. They don't notice the balance dropping because you keep topping it up. You rationalize, you minimize, you whisper, maybe this time will be different. Ah, hope, the sweetest poison. But here's the riddle they never saw coming. Every betrayal has a final chapter, not because you declared war, but because their pattern completed itself. The third lie, the fifth broken promise. The 10th time they chose convenience over loyalty. That wasn't just a misstep, it was the final tile in a mosaic of self-sabotage. They painted blindfolded, and when the structure collapses, don't blame gravity. Blame the architect who ignored the cracks, and the builder who kept handing them tools. People don't decide to lose you. They drift into it like sleepwalkers stepping off a ledge, smiling, certain the ground will rise to meet them. Their arrogance isn't loud, it's quiet. It's in the sigh when you ask for accountability, the smirk when you set a boundary, the way they say you're overreacting, as if your pain had a volume knob they control. And you mistake their consistency for reliability. They've always come back. Yes, but what came back? A person, or just a habit wearing their skin? A shadow that mimics warmth but casts no light. You confuse repetition with repair, routine with remorse, presence with presence of mind. The last chance doesn't arrive with sirens. It wears a familiar face. It says, "I'll do better," while doing the exact same thing, just slower, quieter, smarter. That's the trick. Evolution of the offense, not its end. They don't stop lying, they just lie less obviously. They don't stop neglecting, they just schedule it between compliments. So ask yourself this riddle. If they truly valued your trust, why did they wait until it was nearly gone to pretend to care? Not because they changed, because they felt the shift, the moment your belief in them began to calcify into silence. That silence, that's not forgiveness. That's the sound of a door closing, slowly, so they wouldn't hear it latch. Here's the truth they'll never admit. You weren't too sensitive. You were too observant. While they were rehearsing excuses, you were noticing patterns. While they were gaslighting timelines, you were remembering exactly when the warmth left their voice. Your intuition wasn't dramatic. It was diagnostic, and it diagnosed terminal negligence. Trust isn't rebuilt by the offender's apology. It's reallocated by the betrayed, deliberately, strategically, irrevocably. You don't hand your keys back to someone who proved they'll crash the car and blame the road. You don't reset the lock and hope they'll learn the combination this time. You change the blueprint. You build walls with windows so you can see who's approaching and whether they come bearing bricks or picks. The moment you stop begging for fairness and start enforcing boundaries, that's not bitterness. That's biology. Your nervous system finally listened to your soul. Enough. And in that silence, not of defeat, but of sovereignty, you realize they didn't break you. They revealed you, showed you what you'll no longer tolerate, showed you how deeply you value integrity, even when it costs you comfort. So let them wonder why you're different now. Let them knock on a door that no longer opens for them. Let them scroll your life like an unsolved riddle, because it is. You're not a puzzle to be cracked anymore. You're the lock, and you've finally thrown away the key they thought they still held. They broke your trust, not knowing it was their last chance. But you watched the fracture spread. You felt the weight shift. You stood in the wreckage before the dust settled and chose not to rebuild on the same fault line. That isn't vengeance. That's evolution. The kind that doesn't roar, it resonates. And from now on, every no you speak is a riddle you've already solved. Every boundary, a question answered before it was asked. You are no longer the victim of their ignorance. You are the architect of your discernment. So remember this, trust is not infinite, but self-respect once awakened is, and once it speaks, even silence has a voice. If this struck a chord, if it felt less like a speech and more like a mirror, then you're not here by accident, because healing isn't about forgetting the betrayal. It's about choosing every day to align with the version of yourself that knows better and does better. Hit like if this reminded you of your strength. Tap the bell, because the next riddle might just free you. And remember, the greatest mystery isn't who broke your trust. It's who you become, now that you've stopped letting them hold the pieces.